opposed to LGBT teaching at Anderton Park Primary got heated. Neighbouring MP Jess Phillips was on the scene and tempers flared.
I'm not going to come down and join you.
Why are you so aggressive? You've been so aggressive. It's not giving us a chance.
Phillips has now called for the introduction of an exclusion zone to allow pupils to come and go from lessons in peace. The activists say that their action succeeded in keeping 600 children out of lessons. It follows a street standoff on Sunday night in which a group supporting these school stands claimed they had eggs thrown at them by protesters. We did request a statement from the school. It is yet to respond, but the head teacher told another news outlet that the vast majority of protesters are not parents, and the outrage is creating a divide that wasn't there before. Well, for more on this, I'm now joined by Shakeel Afsar, the coordinator of the protests outside Anderton Park Primary School. Evening to you, Shakeel.
Evening to you too, sir.
Why are you trying to stop children being taught about equality and tolerance?
I think the facts that are being spread by the head teacher and the statement that she makes that it hasn't happened before, so why is it happening now, is a very childish and a very naive thing. Just because people have identified that you are pushing a narrative that is going against Christian Catholic values, that's going against Islamic values and Jewish values, and simply what parents are asking for is simply a right to the seat at the table. And as you know, in the last couple of weeks, the ex-chief prosecutor for Northwest of England, Mr. Shakeel Afsar, assisted and volunteered that he would mediate for free. We sat down with him with 6 parents, one of our legal team, our academic representatives. We had a meeting. He asked for a compromise, and we offered a compromise by stopping protests, and they completely ignored us.
All right, well, just give us an idea of what you're actually worried about and complaining about. What's your beef with this? Because this is carefully considered and structured teaching. We're talking about appropriate lessons aimed at pupils of this age, focusing on relationships and love. So, what's your problem?
Well, the fact of the matter is, when a Catholic a child that's being brought up in a Catholic Christian household, or a child who's being brought up in a Muslim household, is being told at school it's okay for a boy to wear a dress, or it's okay for 2 males to get in, for a man to be with a man and a woman to be with a woman. We feel that, first of all, primary school is not the age for this to be done. Primary school is not the age, and 4-year-old is not the age to teach children about such complex relationships. Children see people as humans. They don't judge a person by their sexual orientation or their race or their religion. They see a human and judge them by...
Do you really understand what's being taught to these kids at this age? I mean, this clearly is one school you're campaigning against, but in England, relationships education at that age for primary school pupils will be compulsory from September next year throughout England.
Yeah, of course, and we understand that, but like you just said to one of your other previous reports that it's parental responsibility to feed the children, it's a bit funny how everything else is our responsibility, but when it comes to their education, it wants to be dictated by people sitting in suits in Parliament who have no idea of how our children are and have no idea that every individual child is different.
Shakeel, we talk about our children, so do you have children at this school?
I have a niece and a nephew who are as good as my children.
Oh, you're not their parent, though, so why would you be dictating how those nephew and niece are being brought up?
Yeah, I can tell you that because I've had to step forward with the simple fact is that my sister's husband works in a very big accountancy firm, and he feels that if he talks the way I'm talking, he'd be intimidated like we have done. He'd be called a homophobic we have been.
What about those kids you're stopping from learning about stuff that their parents might actually want them to learn about?
Well, with all due respect, we haven't asked any parent to be part of our campaign who didn't want to. The only parents who have been part of us are majority people of faith and morals and who have conservative views. We feel that a primary school is a place where a child should be taught respect for human beings. They shouldn't be taught about such complex relationships such as LGBT. Now, we want to make clear that there is discrimination. We understand there's a lot of Islamophobia, homophobia, and the school and the parents and the Ofsted need to sit down and devise a strategy whereby everyone feels that they are being tolerated. At the moment, we feel the school is intolerant towards us.
Shakeel, thank you very much for talking to us live tonight.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And